Shalom, brothers and sisters. Good day to everybody. Hope you're having a great and blessed day. This is a follow-up video to my last video on the danger of oneness theology. I did want to clarify something. I just got off of work and I'm sitting here in my barn and thought I would clarify something about oneness theology. I do believe in one Almighty. When I say one, I'm not trying to play any word games or tricks. I believe that the Almighty is one person. I believe He is a single individual. I don't believe in a bipersonal God or a tripersonal God. I believe that the Almighty Yahweh, is a single individual. Not just one being, but one person. And a couple points that you can go to arrive at that conclusion is, I'll give 2 points. I could give many, and I've written and spoken on this before. I think there's many in the Tanakh, but I'm going to give one that's a little more less known and less talked about, and that is the singular personal pronouns and singular verbs that are used in the Hebrew Bible. You can find this in an English translation as well. So where Yahweh, where the Almighty, says things like I and me and by myself and alone, he uses these words. Or in Genesis where it will say, and God said, and you won't get this directly from the English, but if you look at the Hebrew, the verb there is in the singular. And God said, let there be light, so forth and so on. I remember when I was studying Genesis 1:26, where there is a plural pronoun used, where God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness. And I remember I had a Trinitarian friend tell me, see, that's the Trinity right there. Albeit they don't recognize the ancient Hebrew or Jewish interpretation of Genesis 1:26 to be that God is speaking to His angelic court. And this is a position that even modern day Trinitarian scholars concede to and admit that Genesis 1:26 really should not be used as an argument for the doctrine of the Trinity. That's a later developed doctrine within Christianity that was unknown to ancient Hebrews like Abraham and Enoch and Noah. But when my friend told me this in Genesis 1:26, I said, so if a plural pronoun is used in Genesis 1:26, wouldn't that mean that God is speaking to somebody else? And if a plural pronoun means that God is speaking to other persons or beings in Genesis 1:26, if that's what the plural pronouns mean, and I agree, then what do the singular pronouns mean? If we means more than one person, then what does I mean? It means a single person. And hundreds, if not thousands of times in the Hebrew Bible, God uses singular personal pronouns, and the Hebrew text uses singular verbs when talking about actions and things that Yahweh does. So this is one of the reasons why I believe that God is a single person on top of a multiplicity of texts in the Old Testament. A second reason that I'll make it quick, is in Mark chapter 12, I believe it's verses 28 through 32, where Yeshua speaks to a Second Temple period Jewish scribe who would not have been Trinitarian in his theology. And they have this discussion, and the scribe asks Yeshua, what's the greatest commandment in the Torah? And Yeshua responds by quoting Devarim chapter 6 verse 4, Deuteronomy, Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our mighty one is one Yahweh, or Yahweh is one. The last part can be rendered into English either way. And to love Him with everything is, that's part of the Shema if you continue to read. I think He may add there in Mark 12 to love your neighbor as yourself as the second greatest commandment. But But the primary one, the first of all the commandments, is the Shema, Deuteronomy 6, verse 4. And then the scribe responds, the Second Temple period Jewish scribe responds by saying, you're right, for God is one, and there is none other but He. So the Jewish scribe, the Hebrew scribe, responds to Yeshua's quotation or citation of the Shema by saying God is one and there is none other but He. And to love Him with everything is worth more than all the whole burnt offerings and sacrifices, showing that the sacrifices are prestigious, but love and devotion and recognition that Yahweh is one is worth more than all of that. And Yeshua says, you've answered correctly, or some translations say intelligently, and you're not far from the kingdom. And I believe not being far from the kingdom means that the scribe had yet to see that Yeshua was the promised Messiah of the Hebrew Tanakh. He hadn't quite seen that yet, so he was close to the kingdom. He wasn't far from the kingdom. He had to recognize that the promised Messiah had came. The point is that Yeshua of Nazareth, our Messiah, he agreed with the Second Temple period Jewish scribe on the person of God. And that definitely was not Trinitarianism. So I believe in the oneness of the Almighty. I don't believe in the doctrine of oneness theology that's prevalent in Pentecostal congregations. But I believe in the oneness of the Almighty, that God is a single person and that person is the Father. Paul, writing to the church at Ephesus and Corinthians, I guess I'll throw in this third point. He speaks of one God. And he always says one God, comma, the Father. Never one God, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, but one God, the Father, Paul talks about. So I do believe in the oneness of God, oneness of Yahweh. Just wanted to clarify that. So I just believe that Yahweh has a son. He has a Messiah that he sent. So may Yahweh bless you. Have a great day. Shalom.